Today, I have a fun, interesting, and I think a very relevant topic on this week's episode. It's about social media and creating content for it. I mean, social media is such an integral part of our lives now, right? And content creation has almost become a full time job. We love sharing our work with our community on different platforms, but we also kind of have a bittersweet relationship with it, right? Or not, or maybe sweet. I mean, it depends on you and how you see it. But for many, it is a bittersweet relationship because of the amount of work that goes into it, right? So, irrespective of that, whatever your relationship may be with social media, I mean, if you are sharing your photos and videos regularly, you know that it is not easy. There is so much that goes into just being regular and consistent in posting that sometimes it can be overwhelming, it can be tiring, and it can just be confusing. Like, oh man, what to post this week? We've all gone through those times, right? And if you have as well, if you have had such a moment, then please join me as I speak to pro photographers and food bloggers who share their top tip on how to be consistent on social media, how you can take away the stress, the pressure, and the overwhelm that is associated with it, what you can do to stay on top of it, and how to create like a pro. So you'll hear like some familiar voices. They've all been on the podcast before. They're amazing creators. We have folks like Hania Nikku, we have Abhishek Khanna, we have Fenat Rikert, Ritika Singh, Rachel Korinek, Uma Raghuraman, Shelley Wallman, and so many others. They've all been on the podcast and they are all sharing their incredible tips. So listen to your favorite content creators, listen to your favorite photographers, and as you listen, you'll actually find a common pattern in what most of them are saying. I really don't want to spoil the fun. I don't want to reveal that right now. But at the end of the episode, just go back, think about it. What was the pattern? And you'll know for yourself. All right, so let's start. This is your host, Dyutama, but you can call me DJ. And I love to inspire food photographers to dream. I spent 15 years as an architect studying buildings and constructing hospitals before taking the biggest leap of faith of my life, which was setting up a food styling and food photography business right from scratch. If you're a dreamer like me, wanting to start a new photography business or grow your existing food photography business, jump right into a world where I share practical, actionable strategies to improve your photography skills, to work with clients, make more money, all with a fearless mindset. This is the My Food Lens podcast, and we take you one step closer to your dreams. So let's go.
Hi, I'm Shelley Wallman. I'm a commercial and editorial food and lifestyle photographer based in the San Francisco Bay Area. And my number one tip for creating content for social media consistently would be to take more photos than you need at your next photo shoot. So having more photos from one shoot will allow you to create more content. You could also pick up your cell phone and take a little video so you have some behind the scenes that you can then string into like a reel, so you can make more content from one shoot than having to set up tons and tons of mini shoots in order to create more content.
Hi, my name is Fenat Rikert. I am a food and product photographer located in Washington, D.C. And my number one tip for creating content for social media is to plan in advance. Trying to create social media content on the fly each day is exhausting and it is not efficient. So book a few hours each week to plan your content and schedule it. Be realistic about how much content you can produce. So I think once or twice a week consistently is better than every day for a week than nothing for 2 weeks. And don't forget to repurpose what you already created.
So hi everyone, my name is Abhishek Khanna. I'm a commercial food stylist and a food photographer based in Delhi, India. I've been doing food photography for 5 years now. And apart from that, I also do a lot of travel photography for myself. So if you want to see my work, you can follow me on Instagram. All right. So my number one tip for creating consistent content for social media would be when you create content, first of all, remove that focus from your head that you're creating it because you want to create it for a space wherein if you don't create it, you'll end up losing, say, your reach or maybe your engagement. For me, it's majorly about sharing what I love doing. If you really want to be consistent with your content, then create it for yourself, create it because you love doing it. Do not create it like a hammer on your head that if you don't create it today, then you lose out on things. As long as you're creating it for yourself and not just for the sake of sharing it, and so that people don't miss you, I think that would be my number one tip, that take out the focus from creating it just for the sake of creating it. I mean, create because you love creating, and eventually rest is everything is just a byproduct. So when you're creating it for yourself, that is when your work will also be consistent, and that is when your work will also, you'll start seeing, like, every time you click, you'll see an improvement in your work because you're doing it not just for the sake of it. There are times when you don't feel like creating it, don't do it. You don't want to do something half-heartedly and have it out there, and after, say, a few days, not be proud of yourself. So if it's there on the wall, make sure it is there and you're proud of it. So that is how you create, and that is when you create.
Hi, I'm Rachel Karnick, and my number one tip for consistently creating content on social media would be to be organized. So for myself, I do all of my Instagram posts on a Monday, so I make sure it's ready for the following week. So if I'm not organized enough, it doesn't get done. And I would also want you to think about, like, what is consistency? Is consistency once a week? Is it every day? I think you just need to work out what that is for you. Is that 3 times a week, and what's manageable so you can show up consistently for you?
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm an editorial and commercial food photographer stylist based in the Netherlands. My number one tip for creating content for social media consistently is to have content. Because I think the problem appears when you don't have the content to post, and how can you actually create more content? So my advice is to take the most out of one photo shoot. And how do you do it? You create different stories around one dish, whether it's a salad or it's an apple pie. You can create so many different stories around one subject. So instead of having just one scene and one particular angle, you can take that apple pie and photograph it from so many different angles, showing the dimension or the top of it, etc. And also by playing with different props, you can also inject different storytelling in photographing one single subject, which means that you will end up having so many photos out of one photo shoot, which you can then use on your social media.
Hi, I'm Natasha. I'm a food blogger and a food photographer at Tasha's Artisan Foods. And my number one tip for creating content consistently on social media is use your old content. You've taken a whole bunch of pictures, each one of you revisit them, re-edit them, and every now and then when you think, you don't know what to put today, take 5 minutes and re-edit and put that picture, post that picture, and you're good to go.
Hello, my name is Jessie Sierra Ross, and I am a food and cocktail blogger and TV food personality at straight-to-the-hips-baby.com. My number one tip for creating consistent content is to nest your content. If you are doing a still photography scene, pull out your phone and start videotaping. If you are appearing on a podcast, make sure to download snippets to use on other social media platforms. The more that you accumulate, the more options you have to post content when you feel able and ready. And this could be either snippets, this could be full-on stills and stories, or a full video. Always nest your content.
Hi, I'm Monique Serino, and I am a food photographer and food stylist, as well as recipe developer and content creator. My Instagram handle is BeTheLove, and my website is bethelove.net. My number one tip to consistently create content for social media is to put the blinders on and focus on what fuels you. Just create content for yourself, for what makes you feel happy or makes you feel some type of way, because to move on consistently is to have a good relationship with yourself, and the rest will follow because it's coming from you. That is your source. That is how you can consistently create, because it is you and yourself, no one else.
Okay, so I just had to jump in here. All right. Sorry for the interruption, but I just had to jump in here because I think Monique just said something so important. She said, put your blinders on and create what makes you happy. And I thought that was such a great point, because one of the reasons why content creation becomes so daunting, so difficult, is because we set our benchmarks based on what others are doing. Oh, she's posting reels. I need to do that too. Oh, he's only doing cocktails. I need to post more cocktails. Oh, they're posting every day. Oh my God, I need to post more. I need to post more. Well, what we post, how much we post is often, influenced by what others are doing, by just seeing what is happening on social media. We are trying to kind of be there. And that is such a recipe for disaster. By trying to do what others are doing, it means that we are creating what others are creating. And we're also trying to keep up with their schedule. Now, that's definitely a recipe for disaster. Make your feed your own. Own it. It's your feed, your rules. You do it on your terms without worrying about others or the results. Right? All right. Let's hear it from the other pros and what they have to say.
Hi, this is Kankana, and I have a blog, Playful Cooking. You can find me in YouTube at Playful Cooking. You can find me in TikTok, Instagram. I'm a digital creator. I work with different food brands to create recipes or photograph their dishes or products. And my number one tip to be consistently sharing content in social media is to plan. You definitely need to plan what you're going to share the next week, and then work towards it. Push yourself. The more you push, the more it'll become a habit. You do it for a month, you push yourself for a month, the second month will become much easier for you. So trust me on this. Don't give up. If you enjoy sharing content, if you enjoy sharing videos, if you enjoy sharing recipes or photos, whatever is your interest in, just keep doing that and you will become consistent on that. So that's my number one tip. Do it every single day. Make it a habit.
My name is Kimberly Espina. I'm a food photographer, food photography teacher. I'm the Little Plantation on Instagram. And my number one tip for creating content consistently for social media, your blog, and all other places is to plan. So at the start of the month, set one day aside to really block out what you're sharing, how you're sharing it, where you're sharing it. And yeah, that should definitely help you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abby Rodriguez. I'm the CEO and founder of Tastemaker Conference, the premier conference for food content creators. And my number one tip for social media content creation is to have an editorial calendar and stick to it.
Hi, I'm Ritika Singh. I'm a freelance food photographer, recipe developer, and content creator currently based in Bangalore, India. I share my work on Instagram under the handle Cupcakery, and I blog my recipes at cupcakery.com. My number one tip to create content consistently for social media would be to cut ourselves some slack. To be honest, I struggle with consistency. There are times when I'm not feeling particularly creative or motivated, or I don't have any interesting photos or recipes to share. It does help me to plan ahead. I try to make a list of the recipes that I want to share on social media, and I refer to that when I have no new ideas. However, I honestly think that this pressure to show up consistently on social media is unnecessary. It's okay to recycle content sometimes and just take a break if that's what one needs.
Hi, my name is Hani Eniku. I'm a food photographer and stylist based in Berlin. I do work both freelance and as a full-time food stylist for HelloFresh in Berlin. When it comes to creating constant work for social media, my tip would be manage your time to take the most out of the shoot you're doing. If you're shooting for a client, always try to get some shots for yourself that you want to share on social media. If you want to remove the branding or something, that would take you a minute to change, the composition of taking a box of something out. And then here you go, you have all the images for your social media. Or if you're doing images for yourself, try to bring some different angles. If you can do process shots before the final dish. So they make the most out of the time you're spending for cooking and styling, and take different kind of images so you can post on social media in different times and not all together. And like that, you can have more images in line that you can post whenever you don't have time to create for the day.
Hi everyone, I'm Uma Raghuraman, fondly called as MasterChef Mom. I own the food blog masterchefmom.blogspot.com and the author of the book My Genius Lunchbox. And my number one tip for food bloggers to consistently create content is one, keep cooking, keep continuously cooking. And second thing I would say, experiment with new ingredients, fresh ingredients that excite you, that is real fun to work with, so that you will be excited to share it with your followers and with your blog readers. And number three, I would say that make it as a part of your everyday routine. Make it as a part of whatever you do every day, so that you do it consistently and it becomes a habit.
I'm Becky Hadid, host of the Storied Recipe podcast. And my number one tip for creating content for social media is never start with social media. Start with your mission, start with your goal, and then everything you create for social media is repurposing that. So if you're a blogger, you take photos from your food for your caption, you cut and paste your intro paragraph. If you're a podcaster, I never write a caption anymore. I repurpose my intro, my outro, highlights that I've written along the way for my show notes. If you are a commercial photographer, even if you can't share the photos, maybe there's a accompanying ingredient that you can take some special photos of and just share those without sharing anything that's copyrighted. So my number one tip is have a mission, be clear on your mission, and repurpose content.
Hi, my name is Kulsum Kua, and I'm a professional food photographer based in Kuwait. My number one tip for creating content for social consistently would be to not seek perfection. Just create content that is more authentic and relevant. And if you keep looking for the perfect moment, you probably might miss out on the moment itself as it goes. So don't be hard on yourself and let yourself flow. And as you will, you're going to get better at it.
Hi, my name is Heather Mubarak, and I am the food photographer and recipe developer behind Brown Butter Blondie. My number one tip for consistently creating content for social media is to plan ahead and don't be afraid to repurpose old content. So by that, I mean, you want to plan ahead, try to get in the habit of using a content calendar so that you know what you're going to be posting each day of the week, probably for like 2 to 4 weeks out. It will be a game changer for you because you won't wake up in the morning and have no idea what you're posting and then spend an hour freaking out about what to post. And when I say repurposing content, I think a lot of times we're always so caught up in having to repost something new and fresh and, something never seen before. I think it's important to remember that reposting quality content is A-okay. Like it's something you should be doing. If you have a post of a chocolate cake that is your number one post and it's getting tens of thousands of likes every time you post it, that's a winning photo. It's winning content. Followers love it. You should be using that. Not as often as possible, but bring it back around every so often, and it will continue to get more and more engagement for you.
So, how was that? Did you love it or did you love it? I loved it. Oh my God. Did you gather the common patterns? I told you look for the common pattern. Did you gather? Almost everybody talked about planning and repurposing and maximizing or taking it easy, right? They all had this common pattern and such incredible tips. It only goes to show that creating content for social media does not have to be a task, Actually, it can be anything you want. You should create what you like. You should challenge yourself, but also not get bothered by what others are creating. And you should definitely experiment. I love how most of the photographers mention that you should try to repurpose and maximize the number of photos you take, whether it's from a client shoot or from one kind of food subject. Take different angles, different props, tell different stories of the same food. I love that tip from Maya. Also, I think the whole planning part, that's so critical. Almost everybody mentioned that. I mean, if you go and look at Heather's feed, she posts almost every day and she's a planner. And so is Kankana. And Kankana does videos. So the planning is absolutely key to actually see any form of success. You plan, you make a schedule, and you stick to it till it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it feels effortless. But did you like what Ritika said and Monique said and Abhishek and Becky? They all said the same thing. They really emphasize that sharing on social media cannot be all about feeding content, just feeding content. What you really need to do is feed your soul, your mission, your inlet for joy. Social media is just a side product. Don't let it become the only reason you create. And when you don't get a response from it, don't let it derail you either. As a creator, you have a higher and a bigger purpose to create. You have a bigger reason to create, which is to feed your soul, to bring joy to your craft. And social media is only a medium to do so. And they all said the same thing. So make content creation a habit. Use the power of planning, scheduling, and be disciplined. Also be smart about using existing content in fresh ways and maximizing what you already have. Sharing on social media should be fun, and so should be creating for it, right? So do you agree or not? Do you agree or do you agree? Huh? All right. Well, I hope you found this episode helpful and interesting. And if you did, if you liked hearing from your favorite food content creators, from your favorite photographers, from your favorite bloggers, please do rate our episode, our podcast on whichever platform that you're listening, and subscribe so that you get to hear more awesome guests as they come on to our show. And I hope that this motivates you to keep creating content, but with the right attitude and with the right purpose. If you have any questions, I am available on email at hello@myfoodlens.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at Gitama_myfoodlens. I'll see you next week with another episode. Until then, bye-bye.